so far. I don't know why Pheasantipity is up there. I'm really confused. Hello everyone! We are back for another deck, and I gotta say, we are going back to our good friend Matheus that has been sending decks in for us, and he told me that this was a special one, because it was all of his favorite water Pokemon. And I gotta say, I've never seen a deck quite like this actually be played. I've heard people talk about stuff like this, but you may be seeing Mega Greninja is in here, but it's not quite what you may think. This is actually the main person of the deck, and it is because of King's Order right here. You can put 3 Water-type Pokemon from your discard pile into your bench. He called it like the King's Water Blender, and you'll see why here very shortly. But you have a lot of supports. You have plus 40 HP. We'll go all the way over to our blue dinosaur right here with Tundra Wall. Then, after Ludicolo, we have Samurott, where we're able to switch. We have Rylacant. I'll be honest, I don't really like Rylacant in this deck, and as you know, we make my own version of this. But then we have Pheasantipity, of course, you can never skip out on it. Meowth, and then this is the most important item card in the deck, though sometimes if it's prize locked, we can get around it. Brilliant Blender is absolutely the key of it. You need to discard certain cards. And if you discard Samurott, Ludicolo, and our blue dinosaur over here, you are able to put them onto your bench with King's Order. And that is really cool and it powers you up really quickly. But you can also do that with Mega Greninja. So if you are able to last 2 turns with your Kingdra in the active spot, then it's great. But just a ton of other cards here. And most of them are to help set up and get things done really quickly. Salvatore is really nice if I want to level up from, say, Froakie to Frogadier, or from Seadra to Kingdra, or any other type of evolution that I need to do. And we have Bubbly Energy to help power up our Mega Greninja, and our normal regular water energies. And if you see this here, we have a lot of people that have submitted decks. I want to say thank you to Crescender, Purple Pikmin, if you recognize that name, that's because we played a deck of theirs a long time ago, and also Apple right here. I'll be having videos on their stuff a little bit in the future, but as you know, we got to drip out our deck. And I don't want to do anything too crazy, I actually kind of want to let people in on the little secret. But I want to show my stats with this deck. It has not gone very good, but I will say this is a completely new type of deck, like I had said, and my deck has gone a lot better than that. But let's jump in. We'll just do casual and standard play this time around. We don't really need to jump into the ladder, but that's just what we're going to do. So one thing that I have noticed as I've started playing this, I tried to originally go and just do the blender to get rid of the Pokemon, but I found that you can just discard them in any way. And I realized as I was playing this that this is a lesson that I learned way back when I first started playing, when I was playing with Ethan's Typhlosion. I could discard Ethan's Adventures with, say, an Ultra Ball or Carmine. I never used Carmine in Ethan's Typhlosion, but you could do that. You could do a lot of things, and it was just something that I never did when I used to set up cards. But now, as I was getting more familiar with it, I was like, oh, yes, that's something that I can do. And this is really good to thin out your deck as well. You are trying to get rid of a lot of different Pokemon. I gotta say, we're obviously against an Enzoroark. I don't know what this is doing here. I don't know if I've seen that Clefairy in it before. So this could be a new take on it. I've also never saw Claydol in this deck before, so that is certainly interesting. Of course, ends. That doesn't surprise me. I'm going to bump that immediately, but what does Claydol do? De-evolution. This is going to be really interesting. Okay, well, we're bumping that. We're doing that. I'm going to Ultra Ball, not because I want to, but because I need to. If they were to knock me in this upcoming turn, I am just really screwed. And that'll help set me up to get a supporter card. And let's Last Ditch Call. And I am going to want a Hilda and honestly, I can end my turn here. If he disrupts my hand, that's kind of okay. I won't be the happiest of campers, but, well, I don't want to Hilda and then waste it and then have him disrupt my hand, because that will be even crappier. Honestly, that works for me. I really don't care. In fact, I don't really want Meowth on my bench whatsoever. Um, Honestly, right now Dawn is probably just a better card to get out there. Seadra and Samurott is one of the cards that I just really don't care that much about and getting out there and getting going. And the thing is I almost always, one of the big problems that I have with this deck is the fact that whenever I try to do it, I always, I will put them on my bench, and you can't Brilliant Blender them when they are on your bench. So, it's just sitting there waiting. But we will have our Kingdra all ready for this next round, but the problem is I haven't discarded any of them, so that sucks. And I didn't want to discard a Kingdra because there's no reason for me to do that. Kingdra is like the one that I actually need to get through the full line. So that would be catastrophic if I did that. But we are just about there. I do want to get this Meowth out of here with Tuck Tail, but if I'm unable to, it doesn't really matter. I mean, Clefable using Metronome and then taking Meowth's attack would be really funny, because he would have set it all up for absolutely nothing. And I'll be honest, I have not saw very much end stuff so far. I don't know why Pheasantipity is up there. I'm really confused. Are any of you guys confused at this point? Okay. Okay, we are at a okay spot. Because I can then Hilda. I'll retreat. So I'm going to Hilda and grab... Do I want to start attacking, or do I want to start... I'm not the happiest of people with that. But I can Ultra Ball. And then grab my Ludicolo, get that ready, and then I'm going to King's Order. And you may be wondering why I didn't Surfing Beach to bring my Kingdra forward. I wanted to take that off of Meowth. There was no real other way for me to get that off, but I'm able to recycle it. So, unless Meowth were to get KO'd, I wouldn't have been able to use him, and that's why I did that. So I want to see if I'm going to be able to discard this Ludicolo in any way. Hydro Pump will be something I will be able to use, and I'm already buffed based off of our Blue Dinosaur. There's nothing better to call it. It's Blue Dinosaur on right there. So, okay, I can't really do what I want to do, but we will be able to start dishing out some damage. 150 damage from Hydro Pump is pretty darn good. More damage attacked. So all I need to do is... Unfortunately, I'm going to have to hit him one more time. He will not die just from me. If I'm able to boss his orders as Petrunt forward, I will be very happy. But I really feel like... I don't know what he's doing. Like, I really don't. Like, what is this doing here? What is this doing here? What are any of these Pokemon doing here? He doesn't have Zoroa. He doesn't have a Zoroark, obviously. Okay, that's fair. Maybe he was locked. Okay, rare candy. That would be nice. I really wish that I was able to pick, but I can't. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to Surfing Beach this Froakie forward, and then I'm going to Torrential Whirlpool our Kingdra back forward, and whoever they pick to go forward is going to die. Unless it is Petrunt, which that is okay. Because Pheasantipity is one away, and if I set up a Mega Greninja, I'll be able to Surfing Beach him forward and Mortal Strike him in the back. Pause real quick. Oh, but Irradiated Outburst isn't going to do anything to me because it hasn't done any. I haven't had any of that just yet. I really don't understand what this guy's doing. Like, I know I keep saying that, but the more I see him play, the less I understand what's going on. Because, like, Clefairy right there, or excuse me, Clefable right there, like, see, here's Energy Recycler. That's why I retreated the Meowth. But this would make sense as a tech card. Maybe you could use it in a situation where you're against, like, a Dragapult or something like that, and that would be really good. At least you have, you know, the ability to do 200 damage to your opponent with only one prize card liability. But, if you're following, of course, we're not doing anything. Who's he bringing forward? The Froakie? Okay. What are you going to do to the Froakie? It doesn't feel like you can do... Okay, you're going to shred him. All right. You're not going to shred him. Okay. I genuinely, and I mean this in the most polite way possible, I don't know if they played this game before, or they're just getting extremely unlucky. Because this does not make sense. In any way, shape, or form, it doesn't make sense. Because it doesn't do anything. Maybe they're new. Maybe they're new. I feel kind of bad for, like, really going after them. So maybe they're new. I shouldn't go after them that hard if they're new. I could have Surfered to go forward, but I would rather keep that just in case. Okay. 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 I hope this person enjoys playing this game, because I hope that they have more time to learn and to grow with it, and I don't mean that in an asshole way. I just don't know if they understand the mechanics. I don't know if they understand kind of the whole, like, energy thing. I know that can be kind of odd getting into this, because I remember when I was younger and I used to play, there's the blender. See, that's the blender that we didn't have in time. But when I used to play, when I used to, like, you know, be on the playground with my friends, and we had absolutely no clue how to play when we were in elementary school, we used to just go turn by turn, and whichever Pokemon had the higher damage, whichever move had the highest damage, we did that. Unless we chose to do the ability, and we didn't, of course, we did it completely wrong, but, okay, they conceded. So I just hope that they have the time and the ability. I'm going to block their name. Okay. Just so they have kind of that privacy for it. I hope they have time to continue and to grow in their playing. Because, I mean, they had some cool cards in their deck. I just don't think they got to the position where they were able to play them the way that they wanted to. So this is my deck, and I'll be honest, there isn't a ton different, because whenever I try to make my own decks, I try to keep them relatively similar. I will say I cut down on the amount of cards or Pokemon that are in it pretty significantly. So we'll keep going. We have the exact same cards. We have Blender, but what I have Crushing Hammer to help shut down some of the Mega Greninjas and the, the Dragapults. Energy Retrieval, Energy Search. One thing that I kept noticing when I was playing the deck that I just did, I was having so much trouble actually getting the energy to me. And Energy Switch. And this is something that I noticed, that exact thing when I retreated that Meowth manually and discarded, was because I didn't have something like this. I think Energy Switch is a good thing for it. Matheus told me that it involved all of his favorite Pokemon, which I think is really cool, that you can have a cool deck that is able to have all your favorite Pokemon in it. And that's the reason why I kind of wanted to keep the same core Pokemon in it, but maybe make the items and trainers, and of course, like, the stadiums more consistent. Jamming Tower is something that I don't think people use enough. Like, sure, Surfing Beach is really good for water decks, but Jamming Towers is just a way that you can shut down, because, I'll be honest, a lot of people like using the, say, Hero's Capes, or the Hero's Belts, not as much, but Boss's orders, of course, to bring things forward. Chorus to actually get those stadiums that I needed. And the thing is a lot of these also have energy searches as well. An energy card means that I'm also able to go and get. Okay, I also added Xerosics, but I'm also able to go and get this bubbly energy. And if you haven't watched any of our videos before, I hope you're enjoying this one. And in fact, I hope if any of you, not just newcomers, enjoy this content, please subscribe, please comment. I am very happy to play your guys' decks. And one thing that is very reoccurring every single time that I play and make a deck for myself, it almost always, always, always includes a Xerosics. So then we just have all the way back. But I will leave this deck basically how it is. But the deck stats, I'm 3-1 with it. That doesn't guarantee I'm going to win. Of course, I'm probably going to lose because it sounded like I was kind of bragging about that. But we will see how this goes. And like I said, I hope you're enjoying. I hope you like content like this. I know that a lot of you started following my channel for the reason that I did card show things, or you followed me back from when I did crypto mining and stuff like that, and you just never deleted me. But I haven't been able to go to many card shows and stuff like that recently. I've really been on the move. I've been going back and forth from home to my apartment where I live because I'm away at school and I want to visit family and stuff during the summer. So hopefully I can get out there, go out and about, do some card show shenanigans once again. I will say I am vending in a couple weeks from now, and it's a Thursday night show, which is really interesting because I've never seen one of those before. The one nice thing I will say, transitioning more into the deck that we're playing, I always like getting Froakie first because you can then use collect and draw a card. I can't remember. I'm going second. Some of these decks, I really don't care if I go first or second. Some of these decks I do. It's just really difficult sometimes when you have a starting Pokemon that has 70 HP and you don't know going into that if you are going in against, say, a Solrock Lunatone and then you get one shot and you lose first turn. So, well, first attacking turn. So if you decided to go second, that's why I sometimes don't do that. But also, really quickly, if you watch one of my more recent videos where I was playing my Mega Zygarde deck, you may have noticed that I may have blundered the game. And the thing is I could have won in the first turn, but I explained it a couple minutes later. I saw a few people mention this. My thing is I, not Kingdra, I don't know why I did that. My thing is I really enjoy trying to play through the entire game with people, and I don't want it to just be, like, done immediately. So that's why, if you ever notice that, like, if I have a way to win in the first, like, 1 or 2 turns, I usually won't take it. Sometimes I will, just because if it's similar enough to deck, or if it's a deck intended to win in the first 1, 2, even up to 5 turns, then I'll win that quickly. But the deck that I had was a Zygarde deck. It wasn't a... Okay, he got Tails. We're all good. It wasn't a Solrock Lunatone deck. So I wanted to show off Zygarde and show off how Zygarde was supposed to be played as opposed to that. And the thing is that's how I play all of these games. Sometimes you may see me play a move that was just so unbelievably stupid at the beginning of a match, and it's usually because I want to prolong the match. So we can talk through the deck, talk through the mechanics of it, talk about why I added some things, why I left out other things, and stuff like that. Because I would much rather go over the decks. That's the whole reason for this series, actually. So I'm going to get a Seadra, and boom, and we will collect and get another card. But that's the whole point of this series. If I was going just for wins, you'd just see me play Dragapult, you'd see me play Enzoroark, you'd see me play Crustle, and just things like that. And I don't think that'd be fun for any of us, because we're playing this, and we're playing this in a way that we're hoping that we can win, but we're looking at new deck ideas. If I was just trying to win, like I said, there'd be very specific ones that I would look at and I would do. Gotta say, I'm not happy about that guy being there. So we will retreat him. So, and then we will continually collect. We are going to hopefully... Okay, Petrol should get us to where we need to be with our, of course, journey. It's been a couple turns now trying to get to that Kingdra. Okay, I think I got him to a point where he... Okay, we're not in a bad position. We will Surfing Beach that forward. I don't know what I want to do. I, of course, want to get this set up. I want to keep my petrol for a time when I need it, and I'm trying to think what I would need before this next time. Thing is I don't really have any cards anymore, so I'm probably going to want to Lilies. And I think that would make the most sense for me to do, but of course I could always be wrong with that. King's Order, we will get our supports, and this is like a golden setup. The only thing that could be better is if I had a Mega Greninja also discarded for me to be able to bring forward, which that's something that could be completely possible after I use this Lilies. So we will see how that goes. Blue Dinosaur makes me take 50 less. Ludicolo makes me have plus 40, and of course we already saw what Samurott did last turn. But the thing is you turn into an absolute tank if you have any water energy attached to it. Now the one thing is that I mentioned before with the bubbly energies, they are really good for powering up the, excuse me, I completely just lost my train of thought, powering up the Mega Greninjas. And the thing is it could be good, it could be bad to switch back and forth with it, but what I tend to like the most is to have a water energy already attached to my Mega Greninja, as you're about to see me set up here. This entire thing is literally just to set up Mega Greninja. And I'll be honest, I'm going to heal up my backline a little bit just because, or I should say tank up my backline a little bit. I probably could have started attacking, but I don't know if I want to start trying to deal that extra damage just yet to Ursaluna, just because I think Ursaluna is going to retreat. But more what I was saying, when you attach and detach the bubbly energy, you clear out special conditions. And that is something that is really good to keep rechecking onto your Mega Greninja every single turn. Now, most people don't have special, or excuse me, most Pokemon and most people don't run decks that run special conditions. Of course, you can see them every now and then, but it typically isn't something that happens. So if you have somebody that, say, burns you or, you know, confuses you. Confusion is one of the more typical ones you see, and that's usually because people have, of course, Monkey Dory in their decks, and sometimes people have the ability for Monkey Dory to attack, and that's usually a good backup thing to do because confusion can be really annoying. So, just did want to say that. Let's get ready to start attacking. We're not really in a situation where I am happy to go forward with doing anything else. As far as I'm aware, they do not have any Poke Tools that they're going to attach, at least that I have seen. Some people do run the... Oh, why can't I remember the name of it? I'm going to do something. Same thing that we saw last time. I'm going to take him back and then Samurott him forward. And the thing is whoever I touch is going to get double damage against him. They're probably going to bring forward their Charmander if I had to guess. But, yeah, if I had to guess. And that's kind of what I figured. We are going to take them out, but is there anything else that I want to do next? Did I attach an energy this turn? I did not. Let's Chorus. We'll get a Jamming Tower and an energy. Oh, I did. Yes, I attached it to Ludicolo. I apologize. I don't know what I'm doing. Go ahead. We will get our prize card, and we will get... Buddy Poffin's really useless to me right now. We have our Pokemon setting up the way that we need to, and what's really nice is I'm in a situation where, well, one, I'm a little surprised they didn't bring Blood Moon or Saluna back forward, but that is the setup that they needed. I'm going to have to stall just a little bit, but I can do stuff with Energized Slash if I need to. Not that I think I'm really going to do anything with it. I do gotta say that I am quite tanky. I should have 400 health, in theory. So he's going to need to attach at least 5 to get rid of me. And he has 9. Holy crap. That's kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. And we're not in the best situations with that. Boomerang Energy. Does Boomerang Energy come back after you... Yeah, no. Boomerang Energy doesn't come back. Okay. He's a Legacy Energy. Why would you put a legacy energy onto him? He's going to have to put forth a lot to get me, especially because, well, you know. But I'm pretty happy with where we're at so far. Did he not realize? Did he not pay attention? Oh my goodness. My friend. My absolute buddy. What are you doing? Get it? Water? You did. I'm funny sometimes. Not many other times. So we will take out this completely and fully set up Mega Charizard. That's absolutely crazy. I'll say that. But now we got to beware of Ursaluna. And we have our Mega Greninja right there and perfect. And we have extra damage that we're going to be able to use because we are able to Mortal Shuriken, unless they disrupt my hand. We will have the bubbly energy we can attach to Mega Greninja and then unattach from Mega Greninja. And then that energy, like I just said, to Mortal Shuriken. Oh, we are in such a good position right now. We should win this next turn. Or I could just ignore all of that and just mess around and keep going. But I do gotta say, this is like the best showing we could possibly have of this deck. This is exactly what this deck is intended to do. Okay, and with that Lily's Determination, I think he sealed his fate. 190 damage is completely okay in my book. But even if we didn't get an extra one of these energies, that is something that is completely okay with me. We could also have done the whole Samurott thing, but we didn't need to. That was the other thing when I said we could just not care. That was what I had meant when I said that. So we will Mortal Shuriken, do it to Ursaluna, and as you can see, 200 damage, and we will seal out the game. That is the extra, and that was 2 prize cards. Get that bubbly energy out of there, and have we won? Oh no, I'm an idiot. I completely forgot he had legacy energy on him. I should have done the Samurott thing. I got too arrogant for myself. I apologize to you guys. That is not something that I should have done. Unless he has Salvatore, this really should be the end. Yeah, no, see, this is why you don't get too ahead of yourself. If I would have just shook the guy's hand at like an in-person match, the judge could have said that I conceded or something stupid like that. So I'm so glad that I, have at least the game here to humble me, because that's embarrassing. I should have remembered that. I know that I talked about the legacy energy. I completely forgot. I was like, oh, why is that there? Huh. This guy should concede. There's absolutely nothing he can do. Doesn't seem like he has a Salvatore. He literally can't do anything. He just put that Charmander on the bench. He couldn't even Candy it if he wanted to. He can't Salvatore because he just used a supporter, and that is the game. Am I disconnecting? I better not be disconnecting. I won the game. Okay. Okay. I see my little modem up in the corner. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Please. Okay, I won. I won. That was scary. I was like, there's no way. Like I keep saying, it doesn't matter if I win or lose, frankly. I didn't even need to attach that. I just wanted to do extra damage. So, there we are. That is our win. And that's how you know, kids, don't get ahead of yourself. Before you actually win, make sure you, actually win before you think that you did and say that you did. But thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe. Please comment your decks below. I would love to play them. And I hope to see you back next time. But until then, have a great day.